Welcome to episode 15 of Friends and Film, a podcast where we talk about the latest movie news and theatrical releases. I'm your host, Cooper Hood at Coops_Hoops on Twitter, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Josh Straley at StraleyStrong on Twitter. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. If you are new or you have not done so already, you should subscribe and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. And you can find us just by simply searching Friends and Film. Josh, what's been going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. I'm a newly addicted to Diet Coke, Cooper.
Ooh, Diet Coke.
I don't know why.
Gotta go regular, man. It tastes better. It's better for you.
Is it better for you?
It is. That's scientifically proven, I'm pretty sure, somewhere.
I feel like Coke in general is probably not good for you.
I mean, I've been drinking it my whole life, and I've never felt better.
Oh, my goodness. Well, episode 15,
Yeah.
we've made it.
It's crazy.
Is it a milestone?
I mean, it's a mini milestone, I guess.
Yay.
I would say like 25 is a milestone.
Sweet.
Once we got past the double digit hump there, and then
Oh, I was going to say.
we'll just keep on going.
I was going to say, episode 100 this year is going to be dope, but then I realized we're a weekly podcast, and that doesn't happen for another.
Yeah, that'll be next year.
Oh, my goodness. What have you been up to? Anything crazy?
I was supposed to go to a peace conference in Notre Dame this morning.
Peace conference.
As we're recording on Saturday, yes, for school.
Like UN type stuff?
Like nonviolent communication type stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, violence is never the answer.
Yeah, but I woke up at 6 to go down there, and I'm driving. I've been driving. It's about 2.5 hours from where I live, or about a little over 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but.
And so I'm driving there. I'm over an hour in, and I get on. I take an exit to head like down the final stretch up there. And it starts snowing a little bit, and I'm like, ugh, gosh, I don't want to drive in the snow.
Right.
And then I keep driving. A couple miles down the road, it just starts bombarding me. I'm like,
geez.
I'm not a fan of this. Whatever's happening.
It's April. There should not be snow anywhere.
So I'm like, okay, I'm already this far. I'm 45 minutes away or so. Like I'm gonna keep going. I was like, this snow will pass, I'm sure. And then I pull up a radar app on my phone, and I see that the road I'm traveling on, there's a snowstorm coming all the way down.
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't look like it's going to end. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And so I turned around, emailed my professor. I was like, I'm not coming. I was like, the weather's terrible. I'm not driving another 40 minutes in the snow.
Oh, my goodness.
Then 20 minutes later, he sent a class-wide email out saying, hey guys, I just got an email saying that the weather's bad, so you don't have to come. You guys are welcome.
Yeah.
Just saved all the rest of you guys a drive up there.
How does that's the thing that bugs me the most. Every time they cancel class 5 minutes before class starts, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like
I'm already here.
I'm already there. Yeah, so that was annoying.
Yeah, well, it doesn't beat the Indianapolis drive that I had to do the other day. I had to go down and then take a 30-minute test and then drive back.
Oof.
Not fun.
No, it sounds like a really bad, 5-6 hours?
I think it's 4 hours total.
4 hours total?
Back.
Yeah. But, oh well, overall, it hasn't been that bad. I found out, it was pretty exciting news that I'm going to be seeing Civil War.
Gosh darn it.
When you guys are hearing this on Tuesday, 2 days, I'm seeing it at April 14th up in Detroit. They're just doing a giveaway basically.
Are you kidding me?
And some people I know got tickets, and I'm going, and I cannot wait.
What is going to be worse? I don't know what's going to be worse, but do you think it's going to be harder to sit here and not talk about it?
Yeah. I think the worst part's going to be like that, like not being able to talk about it really with anybody besides just hopefully telling them, go see it. And based off the reviews that lifted last night.
Yeah, social media embargo.
Yeah, I mean, all indications are this movie's great. So I'm super excited for it. And I think the worst thing about it isn't going to be like the 2.5 hour drive up to Detroit. It's going to be the 3-week waiting period to see it again.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Oh, man, because, you saw Star Wars
I saw
back
Star Wars.
to back, didn't you?
I saw Star Wars 5 times in theaters.
Yeah.
Saw it at 7
we
with
saw
you.
It, yeah, we saw it at
and
7.
then I saw it at midnight again in IMAX 3D with some other friends of mine.
And then you were back in the theater
And
again with
then-
me.
Yeah,
Friday
like
night.
the day after,
Yeah.
right? And then I saw it again a couple days after that with my dad, and then I saw it like the second weekend with friends of mine that hadn't seen it yet,
Mhm.
and I was like, yeah,
I
This is
finally
great.
broke out or busted open my DVD copy this week of it, and I realized how much that movie's awesome.
yeah, it is great.
But
And-
Civil War,
Yeah, great reaction so far on social media. I haven't looked into it too much just because
Right.
I'm seeing it so soon. I don't want to get anything spoiled for me.
totally.
But at the same time, I feel like I have pretty good indication of what's going to happen
Mhm.
with the movie. But yeah, basically the reaction is that it's great, but people are loving it. A lot of them are saying it's just up. It's definitely one of the best Marvel movies that they've
Awesome.
made. A lot of them are saying Spider-Man steals the show, which isn't a surprise.
That's what we want.
And then
yes.
Black Panther is incredible.
Oh boy.
The airport fight, we haven't seen like we've barely seen anything of it. Basically, like
Mhm.
it's a lot bigger than it actually makes it look in the trailer. And then I saw one that the Cap and Tony fight that is shown in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That's like insane. So
Ooh.
yeah, and then somebody said it's the best superhero fight in any movie.
That's something I'll have to think about. Best superhero fights.
Or like best action sequences in a superhero movie.
Oh, totally. I mean, you know when it's going to have to be in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm so excited for this movie. That was like the best thing to hear on
Mhm.
Friday. Was
Totally.
that I'd be able to,
Was there? I haven't checked it yet, but was there any detractions? Anything that anybody said that?
some people were
enjoy?
saying that. What were some of them? I don't have them in front of me.
Sure.
But I mean, some people did have problems, like little problems with some of the like the minor characters in the movie that they
Mhm.
thought were gonna have bigger roles.
Oh, well, that's just nitpicky.
Yeah, it's like you gotta pick and choose. Do you
Yeah.
want Baron Zemo or do you want like Captain America?
Right.
So-
and you know who wins in the Captain America
Yeah.
movie.
So that's just kind of how it goes there, and yeah. But like it seemed like a lot of them were pretty optimistic that if they saw it again, some of those problems would go away.
Yeah.
Just because like first viewing, like I'm sure it's kind of at least a little bit overwhelming with the
Mhm.
amount of characters in it. But once you're like ready for it and you can just kind of take it in.
Especially if you're going into it with a mind of, I have to, review this movie as a movie. And
Yeah.
then once you watch it again, I'm like, well, that wasn't as big as a deal as I thought.
Yeah.
But
So-
Spider-Man stealing the show.
Yeah.
That's a
good sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, we've got a Spider-Man topic to talk about, or two, and it's a really long intro, so we're gonna get right to it. But we're gonna review Demolition this week,
Mm-hmm.
as you can tell in the title. But before we do so, we're gonna talk about some of the biggest news that broke throughout the week. If you don't want to hear us talk about all this great news, like the Rogue One trailer,
Yes.
that dropped, the first one, then you should turn away and skip ahead for some reason, but you should stick around for it because it'll probably be, hopefully it'll be a really good
Yeah, I'm going to rant
discussion
for a
about
while,
it.
guys. I have got so many things to say.
But yeah, if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud or something, just skip ahead. I don't know how long, just because I don't know how long we're going to talk about Rogue One, but just keep skipping ahead until you
Yeah.
hear us talk about
35
Demolition.
minutes. 35 minutes is a safe bet.
But if you're on YouTube, there'll be a pop on your screen right now, and you can just click that, and you'll skip right ahead. Otherwise, we can get to the news, and we're introducing a little bit of a new style for the news, just because there's so much news that happens. Like last week, we just quickly mentioned some of like the great stuff that had been announced that we didn't get a chance to just talk about or even really mention. We're going to start doing basically mini news recaps where we're going to do really quick topics and just do quick takes on stuff, and then we'll do main stories where we talk about, where we go a little more in depth on the stories. So our first, mini story is Heroic Hollywood reported that Ryan Reynolds is he renegotiated his contract for more money after he got paid like $2 million or something for the first one, and now he's officially back for Deadpool 2.
What?
Not a surprise.
Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Didn't see it coming. Even though they told us right after you finish watching Deadpool 1 that we get another one.
Yeah, so it's not surprising. I mean, that's like when I saw it, I was like, that's like the most like no-brainer news story of the week.
Anybody that does, even if you don't follow news, you'll be like, well, duh, why wouldn't they? Yeah. Especially after, I think last I checked, it was 754.
Yeah, it's I know it's officially the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. It's the highest grossing X-Men movie, which just speaks volumes to how much people love this movie and how much people are looking forward to the next one. I'm really interested to see once Apocalypse comes out in about a month and a half, if that will top it or not.
I almost wanted to say it won't.
I don't think it will, which is weird. But I mean, it has a lot of star power. Our other one is Charlize Theron. We talked about it a while ago that she was rumored to be joining Fast 8, and Deadline has reported that she has finalized her deal, and that she will in fact be the main villain in Fast 8.
That's gonna be crazy. For the longest time, I think when we addressed this rumor the first time, I had never even seen Mad Max, and then finally before the Oscars, I'd seen it, understood why it won as many Oscars as it did, and she was fabulous. So that's going to be awesome.
Yep. I'm really looking forward to what she can bring to the franchise. She's kind of like the first, like, they got The Rock, and now they're getting Charlize. So it's like, Charlize is definitely the best actor that's been in these movies. No question. So hopefully, I mean, that just kind of raises the bar for the franchise. The kind of people they bring in, they stop bringing in just the same group over and over who are just like, they're just drivers. Like, bring in like good actors and like tell a great story, and maybe then I won't be like, how does this movie make $1.3 billion or whatever it made. And then our other main news story is Boyd Holbrook, an actor from Narcos. That's where he's most known from. Deadline has reported that he will be the villain in Wolverine 3, and his character is described as, quote, relentless, calculating, and intense head of security for a global enterprise.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
we have a Wolverine villain.
Yeah. We have the actor. I'm not familiar with him.
No, me neither.
And his character description's kind of vague, so some people are thinking it could be Weapon X related, and that they'll kind of be able to retell some of Wolverine's origin. And not the movie, like Wolverine's actual origin.
Wolverine stops in the middle of it and they start replaying Wolverine Origins.
That'd be bad. I'd walk out.
Goodness sakes.
And then the other mini news story is Kevin Feige told EW that, kind of the other like no duh news of the week, that other Marvel characters will be in the Spider-Man reboot.
Yeah.
Which isn't surprising. So do you have any like character that, if you had to choose like 3, like what 3 would you most want to be in there?
Obviously Daredevil.
Yes.
Has to be, because it's New York, and that's Spider-Man's place. That's all I got.
That's all you got. I think Iron Man seems like a good bet to be in it. I think as long as he makes that a Civil War. Going on the Daredevil front, I would love to see Charlie Cox in there, but I'd love to see Vincent D'Onofrio in there as Wilson Fisk even more.
Yeah.
Just because like they want to do a different villain, and getting D'Onofrio, who has a relationship with Tom Holland, they've worked together already. Get him in there and do it. I think that would be great.
Oh, they could get Punisher too.
And the wild card, I want Ant-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I just think, I don't know. I mean, Paul Rudd. Like,
I know.
You talked about how much you love Paul Rudd last week.
I love Paul Rudd, but I don't think he fits into a Spider-Man story.
I mean, I don't want him to be like a major player. I just want him to be like,
he's just chilling, doing something else.
He just helps him out with something.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Scott's a smart guy. Maybe,
of course.
Peter just needs help with something. So
I'd rather see Daredevil than Ant-Man, though.
Yeah, me too. But I just think, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out because I want more of Ant-Man, and
they could.
I can't. And like his sequel is so far away, so I'm trying to figure out where he can fit in before then. And I think that's probably the best bet.
Okay.
And especially if they bring the Wasp, because then you have Spider, Ant, and Wasp.
Okay.
So you get like a whole insect movie.
Yeah, I like that. But Charlie Cox, Daredevil. That's my
make it happen, Marvel.
Let's go.
Speaking of Spider-Man, we're going to move on to our main stories of the week. And we're going to start with Spider-Man because Sony started registering domain names this week for, just nothing big. I mean, people just kind of think making a little bit bigger deal out of it than it might be. But basically they registered 4 domain names that people are thinking it could be possible titles for the Spider-Man reboot starring Tom Holland. And those are Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Coming of Age, Spider-Man Greatness Awaits, and Spider-Man Suspended.
Yeah, okay.
Do you like any of these?
Well, the Homecoming, like Spider-Man Homecoming, like when you read these, like in context of what's happening with Spider-Man and Marvel, they almost make it seem, it's almost just like a...
It's a joke, kind of.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Like, he's coming home.
Did this happen on April 1st? I don't...
No.
Okay. I was saying, but like when you think about it, Homecoming, the movie, he's back in the MC. He's back with
He's
Marvel,
back in the MCU. I mean, he's in high school, so like a homecoming dance.
Right.
It's like there's a plot like revolved around that.
Spider-Man
somehow.
Coming of Age. Every
that,
Spider-Man
I don't like
story
that
is
one.
coming
I mean,
of age.
yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
So it's like, what is he coming the age of? Like,
right.
Coming the age of 15.
And then Spider-Man's suspended movie. It's like, oh, they suspended the movie. They're not doing it.
No,
that's
like,
what I took from it.
I loved. Somebody mentioned like Spider-Man Suspended should be like Spider-Man Breakfast Club, basically. it's just like him and Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane and Flash and everything. They're just like in detention for a day, and they have
Flash
Thompson.
There you go. Okay.
I mean, sorry.
You got it.
Okay, I gotta go all the way, I guess. And just tell, like, I don't know, a story where he has to get out of detention to go save the city, but he can't just leave because he's also just Peter Parker. So that'd be fun. But hopefully it's none of these. Personally, I'd either like Spectacular Spider-Man, or there was rumor that it would be Spider-Man the New Avenger, which kind of play on Captain America the First Avenger. I'd like to see that one. It feels like a Marvel movie,
especially if they want him to especially if the rumors around his new leadership role in like the Avengers going forward, if that's going to be a thing or not.
Yeah. So we should know the title in the 2 months or so, because it'll start filming in June or July. Awesome. So we'll start getting a lot more casting info. And yeah, I mean, he'll be on the big screen less than a month. So it's pretty crazy.
I know. I just love Spider-Man so much.
We're going to switch over to DC real quick and talk about some new dates they made. First off, they moved Wonder Woman up in the schedule from June 23rd, 2017 to June 2nd. So it was going up against Transformers 5 if it stayed at its old date, and now it's going up against Bad Boys 3, I think. So, I mean, moving it up 3 weeks isn't a big deal to me. I mean, Sony and Marvel did the same thing with Spider-Man.
Right.
So I'm like, cool. I get to see it 3 weeks early. Great. And then DC also announced dates for 2 other mystery films, October 5th, 2018 and November 1st, 2019. Do you have any idea what those... Well, first off, do you care that Wonder Woman moved up? And second, do you have any idea what you'd want to see in those dates?
Wonder Woman getting moved up it's about as... I don't know. I don't really care.
It's like insignificant kind of.
Yeah, it's just like, okay... Like you said, I get to see it earlier. I want to see it. I'm ready to see it. But it's not like, oh, man, this is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But the 2 other DC dates, I don't know what to expect from DC going forward. I know we talked about a Lobo movie that they could possibly be doing. But all I'm thinking about is Wonder Woman and then the Justice League movie in the works. Because honestly, I don't know or care too much about DC characters yet to kind of anticipate where they want to take their storylines.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just for context reasons, the October 2018 date would put it between Aquaman and Justice League Part 2. And then the November 2019 is directly after Justice League Part 2 and before Cyborg. So I think the 2018 will be the Batman. It'll be the Batman solo movie. 2019, maybe it's Lobo, since they pushed a script for it. Suicide Squad 2, maybe.
Yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense, especially if they're excited about it.
Yeah, or who knows? I mean, they did say that they're unannounced properties, so they haven't already dated them. There's not like, this could be like a chance for like Green Lantern Corps to jump up in the schedule.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So yeah, I think probably Batman, or maybe it's like maybe a Harley Quinn movie. Just give her her own movie. That'd be.
You got Margot Robbie in your universe.
I mean, she's going to be a breakout star in August. Like, there's no doubt about it. So, who knows? Yeah, I definitely think Batman's going to be one of those. If it's not, I'll be shocked.
Right. People, the most beloved thing from Justice League, Dawn of Justice, is Batman and Ben Affleck. So, if you just let him sit for more than 2 years collecting dust, that's a waste.
Yeah, I mean, and like giving it a 2018 release date. I mean, he'll start filming Justice League. He'll be filming Justice League by the time you guys hear this. Currently, and then he'll shoot that for a couple of months, break off. Then he has his own movie he's directing, and then he could do the Batman and then Justice League Part 2 back to back.
Yeah.
So who knows what's gonna happen? We'll have to wait and see. But also in the same announcement that DC made, or that Warner Brothers made for DC films, they also announced a release date for a mysterious event, what they titled an event film.
Ooh.
And Heroic Hollywood is reporting that is that the October 6th, 2017 release date is for Tomb Raider reboot.
That's what's
and
up.
That they're still pursuing Daisy Ridley, hoping to get her in a 4-month shoot around between when she shoots Star Wars 8 and Star Wars 9.
So that's a total, not reversal, but that's a different perspective on the whole situation, because last time we talked about it was Daisy Ridley up for the role. Now it's, we want Daisy Ridley, come do our movie.
Yeah. I mean,
like that.
So as we discussed, I mean, we both think Daisy would kill it as Lara Croft. If this actually, I don't know, that seems pretty quick. Like to have, I mean, that's a year and a half away. So
yeah,
we haven't heard any updates on where the script's at. I don't think it has a director. So to get all that in place in a year and a half, like to get all that in place, shoot it, edit it.
That's a fast track
project. That's real quick. So who knows if that's actually will happen? But that was a rumor floating out there, and
one we'll gladly talk about too, because obviously Daisy Ridley has our hearts. So
yeah, we both love her.
Absolutely,
can't get enough. So yeah, the more the barrier. Also, we got a weird poster for Kingsman Golden Circle.
Very, very cryptic.
Yeah, Taron Egerton, I think he tweeted it, and it was
captioned
it was like these sunglasses with one of the frames shot off, and then the wording, the circumstances surrounding my death may not be true, or something like that. It's the popular catchphrase anytime someone dies and they come out and say it. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Yeah. So it seems to be hinting that Colin Firth will return as Harry Hart for the movie. And for those of you who did not see Kingsman Secret Service, he died at the hands of Samuel L. Jackson.
Spoiler alert.
I mean,
too late.
It was too late.
You don't like this?
Not really. Well, I have mixed emotions because I liked Colin Firth a lot in Kingsman. I mean, who didn't?
No,
that church scene was insane.
He's a memorable character going forward.
Yeah, but they did kill him, and that was the reason that Eggsy became Eggsy, basically, and he became like the top agent. And now, if they bring him back, like they've kind of gotten rid of his motivations for becoming the agent, because he's kind of taking the place of Harry. And so I don't know. If it happens, I'm sure, as long as if there's a good reason behind bringing him back, and it's not just like, we brought him back 'cause it's a spy movie, we can do that kind of stuff, then I guess I'll probably be okay with it. But if they just bring him back just to bring him back, I won't like that. Because Halle Berry.
Do you need to have a good explanation for it then? Or
yeah, I need a good explanation for why he returns if it does happen.
It wasn't just like, oh, we faked my death.
No.
It needs to be, well, it turns out I was wearing a Kevlar vest, and then it goes through this entire elaborate plot how he faked his own death to aspire him like Samuel L. Jackson does to the Avengers. And then
that's different though, because Coulson actually did die.
Yeah.
He legit died, and then Nick Fury used alien tech to bring him back.
Yeah, that's the one part about the first season of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't like.
Yeah, but now it's great.
Yeah.
You guys
You
guys should all watch it. Just go support Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's one of the best comic book shows on TV.
Especially after the whole Hydra plot.
Yeah, that and Flash are right up there together.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're going to now talk about a sequel. Looks to be greenlit for a movie I didn't know needed a sequel.
Cooper, it tells you it needs a sequel. You know why?
Why?
Because the very last words of the title are repeat.
Right. That's what so we're talking about Edge of Tomorrow. And yeah, the title should be like just live, die, repeat.
Yeah.
Every time they make a new one, just add another repeat on the end.
Exactly.
But basically, Deadline reported that there's a script being written currently by Anna Waterhouse and Joe Shrapnel, or Shrapnel.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's probably not Shrapnel.
No, I don't.
But
not a great last name.
In their report, they said that Christopher McQuarrie would be taking over director duties, and he did the last Mission Impossible movie, well as
he did Unusual Suspects too. He was a part of that team.
He directed it.
He was a part of the team.
I don't think he directed that.
I was just surprised to see that credit on there.
And then he also did Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of familiarity with Tom Cruise,
Absolutely.
obviously. But then after that report was put out there, McQuarrie took to Twitter and was like, "Hey guys, like, they are writing the script. Like, those two people are writing the script, but I'm not directing. Like, Doug Liman is. Like, he's coming back. Or if he doesn't come back, then he said there is no Edge 2 without Doug.
Mm-hmm.
So that could further push Gambit.
Yeah, and that's what made me mad about this whole story. I was like, what the heck, Doug? What are you doing, okay? First, you're like, hey, I'll direct Gambit. And then, okay, well, to be fair to Doug, he hasn't actually confirmed or denied his role into any of this.
Yeah.
But if they want Doug, or Doug has to be there for it to move on, yeah, Gambit's just getting the shaft. Or unless this is the project that Doug's working on, but it can't be because
a different one.
Yeah, it can't be. So, Channing Tatum and Gambit are never getting off the ground.
Yeah.
That I think I have to guess I'm gonna have to recant what I said.
That was kind of the message I got from it too.
Ugh.
But I mean, I don't know. I liked Edge of Tomorrow a lot.
I did. Yeah.
But like the ending was kind of weird. How it just ended, and like I can't remember. It's been a while. I've only seen it once, so I can't remember exactly how it ends. But I'm pretty sure it has something to do with like resetting time.
Yeah.
And so like, are they just gonna replay like the events again, basically? But like in a different way, where there's a new twist where like maybe the aliens evolved in a way because like they had like a programming to like once you tried something, then they knew you would try that.
Yeah, they adapt.
So I don't know. But I did really like that movie. Emily Blunt was amazing. That was the movie where like after she did that, everybody's like, Marvel, sign her for Captain Marvel. Like,
yeah.
Like, make it happen. Like, she'll be perfect. And I hope that happens.
I mean, she was probably A-list before that, but that's when I was like, I haven't seen too many of her films prior, but then after that, I was like, this movie with a very different, odd plot that's questionable in some ways. I felt like she made the whole thing work.
Yeah.
More than
like,
Tom Cruise.
Like that was the one where I was like, I need to go watch more Emily Blunt movies because she's killed it throughout the whole thing. now we're gonna get to some a Star Wars story. Before we get to Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
But just a warning: this could be a potential spoiler, I guess, for the movie or for Episode 8. So if you don't want to know about it, skip ahead a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll time ourselves.
Yeah, it won't be that long. Yeah, skip ahead like 2 minutes, and then we're gonna talk about the Rogue One trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your last chance to leave. I'll give you like 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
All right. So I believe it was Making Star Wars. They reported that Frank Oz was near London, where they're shooting Episode 8, and that he is there not just for vacation, obviously. He is there because he has a role in Star Wars 8. And presumably to replay Yoda.
Right, yeah. Say, if you don't know, Frank Oz is the puppeteer and voice of Yoda from episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then the original trilogy as well. So I guess Yoda's going to pop up as a vision, a flashback, or there's the probably most... what's the word?
Force Ghost?
Yeah, the Force Ghost.
Yeah, because, I mean, he lent his voice to Episode 7 in the Rey vision.
Yeah, that whole thing is
he's
cool.
in there. But now, I mean, that because I remember reading a rumor that like the final scene of Episode 7, there was an extended part of that where the reason why Luke is like staring off in the distance is because he was actually talking to Yoda.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
There,
I like that.
So Yoda being in Episode 8 makes a lot of sense to me. Hopefully it happens. I think it'd probably be as a Force Ghost to talk to Luke, but I could also see it if Luke's kind of like resisting, especially if he's resisting to train Rey, then he'll like kind of push Luke and be like, you have to do this. Like, if you don't do this, the galaxy's screwed.
Yeah,
and Luke's going to be like, oh, all right.
Or Rey's just not getting everything, and then Yoda pops up to be a quirky Force Ghost. Like, see, that's the thing I'm wondering about. If they bring up Yoda, which side of Yoda do they show? Because there's the serious Yoda that we get in 1, 2, and 3. And
then you get the weird.
And then we get Yoda who's been isolated for 18 years before he passes away. So they could take that so many ways.
Personally, I like prequel Yoda better than original trilogy Yoda. So
I'll disagree. Okay, it's been 18 years. Do you think you would be that sane if you lived alone on a planet?
I don't. But it's a hard contrast when you go, like, if you're marathoning Star Wars and you go Episode 3, Episode 4, and then he pops up and you're just like,
all right,
what?
Yeah. Here's another one. Do you want a puppeteer Yoda or do you want a CGI Yoda? Well, wait, it's a Force Ghost. It has to be CGI. If he's
Force Ghost, it definitely has to be CG.
That's disappointing.
I think that's the other weird thing, because if they, I don't know, there's so many complications with, how do you present it? It's like the same thing with like special edition Star Wars. Like it depends. Like if you see the original end of Return of the Jedi, then you see old Vader as a Force Ghost.
Yeah.
And now you see Hayden Christensen. So
do you even know old Vader's name?
I
need to learn
no
that.
idea.
I'll come back at you next week with that.
But yeah, that's we went a little about a minute long on that, so hopefully we didn't spoil anything for you guys. I don't think we did.
No.
At least when you guys came back in. But we are now going to talk about the Rogue One trailer. Dropped Tuesday.
Oh boy.
Or no, Thursday morning.
On
Good Morning America. And before we get to it, I have a question for you.
You have okay.
Because this is I mean, this could be divisive question. Are they AT-ATs or AT-ATs?
Okay, they're AT-ATs if you love Star Wars.
Okay.
They're AT-ATs if you're talking to someone who has no clue what they're talking about. Because if you go AT-AT, you think it's like, oh, he's stuttering. Oh, okay. But if you're like, all right, in Star Wars, the AT-ATs, then you're like, oh, AT-AT, what is that an acronym for? Then you describe the all-terrain vehicle.
I've always said they're AT-ATs because the AT-STs, you're not going to go ATs.
Right.
ATSs. Like, you're not going to do that because it makes you like sound weird.
Sure.
So I've always gone AT-ATs. But yeah, we get to see AT-ATs in the trailer and so much more.
Oh, I actually got I got shivers watching this trailer.
Did you?
And it was awesome. I'm going to go ahead and assume that you've all seen it. So
Yeah, if you haven't, go watch it right now.
Okay, like 3 quick things off the top. Cinematography, excellent. Felicity Jones, who I've only seen in Theory of Everything, acted the heck out of the 2-3 lines that she has in the entire trailer. And then Donnie Yen in his role, he's chopping stormtroopers up with a vibroblade or like a sword. And then, that's it. Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, man. It was good.
Yeah, so you loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really, really liked it. I don't want to say I loved it, but I mean, I probably loved it.
66% of people who voted on our Twitter poll.
61. 61% said they loved it. 26% said they liked it. 13% thought that was okay, but nobody hated it.
Yeah.
So we got 77 votes or something on it. So
thanks for participating.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and you got to get more votes as, just random stuff happens. We want to see you guys' thoughts on it. So yeah, I love the trailer as well. I thought it just visually it didn't look like a Star Wars movie, which was something that I loved. Not because I hate the look of Star Wars movies,
no,
but just because it's something different. So
Gareth Edwards is the man. Like he contrast. I don't know what he did different, but there was no Godzilla elements that I could pick up on.
Well, like that's why I started off by talking about the AT-ATs because like the shot where they're all running towards them and they're shooting down, they look so big, and like we've never gotten anything like that really before besides Luke on Hoth standing underneath them. Right. Like that puts it into perspective just how giant those things are.
Oh my goodness, it's my favorite shot.
Yeah. I would agree.
That's where I got the chills.
Yeah, I loved. We got to see a lot of the characters, which is great, like Felicity Jones. We did not get to see Mads Mikkelsen.
No, we didn't.
Which I wonder why. It's kind of weird.
I think they're trying to protect story. I honestly
so I don't know. I mean, the only character we have a name for is Felicity Jones. It's because she says it like the first line of the trailer.
Jen Erso.
Yeah. So I don't know. She's not related to anybody. I mean, some people think she's Ray's mom.
No, I'm gonna think
I don't
timetable wise, it doesn't work.
I don't think that works. But if you're one of those people who thinks it, good for you, I guess. I'd rather Ray not have to be related to everybody, or for Jen to have to be somebody's mom or a cousin to somebody. Like, just let her be this cool chick.
Someone posted something the other day too. I forget where I saw it, but like Star Wars is the only universe where we inherently assume that everyone is related.
It's true. Well, it's just because they kind of built it up that way. Yeah. I mean, that's what like the original trilogy did that with, with Luke and Leia related to Vader, and then the prequels didn't help out by being like, hey, Anakin, you build C-3PO. It's like, what?
Yeah, everybody has a connection to everything in the future.
So it's just kind of something that's come with the territory of Star Wars, I guess.
Totally.
So Felicity Jones is your favorite character or in the trailer?
Well, we don't get a look at anyone else really acting. I mean, Forrest Whitaker he's spouting some nonsense, or I mean, it's nonsense when you're listening to it. Other than "Don't fall to the dark side" is kind of what I took from it. But I don't know. It's just that she seemed the only one with a central role.
Forrest Whitaker is my favorite part of the trailer, honestly. Really? I'm pretty sure. I just think, I don't know, his look was great.
I agree.
Forrest Whitaker is a great actor.
Absolutely.
I don't know. And then we talked about it a long time ago, like one of our first episodes about some rumored details about his role, that he was like a war vet.
He's legless, I think.
Yeah, he had one robotic leg, and that he maybe was associated with bounty hunters of some sort. So I just think his look and the armor and everything looks awesome. I'm really excited for him. I loved Felicity Jones. Obviously, I haven't seen Theory of Everything. I've only seen her in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when she had this small role of Felicia Day. She's Harry Osborn's like assistant girlfriend.
Oh, that's right.
Wow. Yeah,
she blended in that movie.
Yeah, that's really it. That I've seen her from. But if it wasn't for Forrest Whitaker, Ben Mendelsohn, we get like 2 shots of him
Oh yeah.
in what kind of looks like Admiral Thrawn. Do you buy into that theory? You don't?
No, he's not Admiral Thrawn. Admiral Thrawn is blue. They would not take a huge jump from that.
You don't think so?
No, but he looks as Imperial Admiral as you can get. And there's a shot of him just strolling through this bog into the sun, and I'm thinking, whoever has to come up against this guy is not going to have any time.
So it's like, I loved like the first shot of him. It's just the stark contrast where he's just standing still, all white, just bright white, and then there's just shadowy backgrounds all around him.
Yeah,
just like he just pops, and you're just like, oh, this guy's evil. Like you can tell in 2 seconds. And then like the walk was great, and then the shot after that of the mysterious figure like kneeling down to the tube with the what are they? They're the guards of like the Emperor guards, basically.
The Imperial Red Guards.
So is the Emperor like, is that like going to be a hologram, and is that Vader?
I thought it was Vader. That's what I took away from it.
If that wasn't Vader, are you surprised that we didn't see Vader?
I'm not surprised we didn't see Vader because he's a second trailer, third trailer kind of guy.
I was not surprised we didn't see him, but I was kind of surprised it wasn't like a.
I think if we don't get him in the second one, we'll get that in the next one.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So I was expecting like some sort of breathing or something, because I think it was the same time we talked about Forrest Whitaker. We talked about the scene description where he's on the battlefield and he's kind of throwing dudes around. I think it's that same battle we see of them like on the beach with the AT-ATs and they're running towards them and stuff. I think that's what I feel like it's that battle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really excited for this movie.
It's the start of something awesome for Star Wars. Yeah. And this is what's going to make Star Wars the best, longest running franchise out there. And it's going to be because there's a main story, and the main story is about the Skywalkers. But there's this entire universe flooded with so many possibilities and stories to tell. These anthology movies are what's going to make it so much better than, say, another Disney property that's really popular right now, like the MCU. Listen, they don't have to be linear in any respect. It's just what I think is so cool.
No, yeah, I would agree. I mean, it definitely
really?
has. I love the MCU. So it's. I don't think.
I thought I'd make you mad by saying that.
I don't think it will ever. Star Wars overtake my love for the MCU.
Okay.
I don't expect that, but I do like that Star Wars will be able to tell nonlinear stories, and that they'll be able to tell these separate stories that in some ways are connected. So it's like basically like the one thing I loved about Guardians, and I think a lot of people loved about Guardians of the Galaxy, was that like you see Thanos and you're like, oh yeah, that's the guy that appeared at the end of Avengers, and like it's gonna be an Infinity War, and like this kind of stuff,
right?
But it doesn't affect the story. It's kind of like those brief moments where you're like, oh yeah, this is set in the same universe, but what they do is all on their own. Like what the Guardians do just affects the Guardians. It doesn't affect,
right?
They don't have to deal with, S.H.I.E.L.D. fell. Oh no, like
exactly.
They don't even know S.H.I.E.L.D. exists.
Right.
So, I do like that. These Star Wars stories are going to, branch the universe out further, and that's why I think people thinking that Felicity Jones is Rey's mom is dumb, because you have an entire universe to explore in your first one where you're branching out and being like, this is a separate story. Like, yeah, we're getting the Death Star plans that Leia gets at the beginning of episode 4, but other than that, like, this is a whole separate story about people you have no idea who they are. So to then go and be like, I gave birth to this girl, I'm gonna name her Rey. Like, if that's how the movie ends, it would be like, what the heck?
Right, exactly.
It's like, that's just exactly. That's a shameless ending. That would probably be a buzzkill for a lot of people. I know it would probably upset me,
right,
if it just kind of felt like pushed in, like, oh yeah, I'm a mom. It's like, what?
Yeah, it just has no place. And yeah, not everything is connected. I mean, this is connected obviously to the Death Star plans being stolen, but these are different people, and they're going to tell their story, not plug for another property.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this movie now, especially whenever they announce, casting for young Han Solo, and then see where else they go with these anthology. They're not anthology movies anymore. I wish they were still anthology
They're anthology
movies,
but they're just not titled anthology.
I wish they were though. But I understand from Disney's perspective, being like, we're just gonna kind of like 10 Cloverfield Lane. You just slap the name brand on there, and you're gonna get an extra, tens of millions of dollars.
Well, I mean, it's got the Star Wars name, but
but if the movie just titled Rogue One Anthology, like people wouldn't general movie audience wouldn't go, Rogue One? Oh yeah, that's from Star Wars. Like
gotcha.
They would just be like, oh, that looks like a interesting, space movie. Until they go and see a trailer and there's Vader or something pop up. But if you don't know that this is a Star Wars movie, and you aren't familiar with AT-ATs and kind of just the familiar garb and stuff, like Mon Mothma popping up and
oh my goodness, wasn't that incredible how much she looked like the original actress?
I'm pretty sure it's the same actress from the prequel trilogy.
It is, yes. Yeah. But I'm talking
from
episode
where she is
6.
And yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I loved how they're in the Rebel base. Yeah. It's just like awesome.
I thought
it's so good.
I thought of something actually just right now. This putting this movie here is an awesome idea, because it's going to be Darth Vader in his prime.
Yes.
And it's going to plug, and it's going to sort of extend to Kylo Ren's vision of Darth Vader too. If we can see Darth Vader chopping up a couple rebels, and the tenacity that he had, then that's going to cement in your mind, oh, Darth Vader was a pretty evil guy.
Yeah.
In between episode 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, if you base, how incredible of a villain and Jedi Darth Vader is based on the original trilogy, just on his abilities, he's not that menacing.
No, he just chokes his.
He just is physically imposing, and he's just a scary figure. You don't want you see him, you don't want to mess with him. Same with that's why Kylo wears the mask. But Kylo, he has those anger tantrums where you're just like, yeah, this dude's insane.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we talked about this in our Star Wars review, but that's where I'm really excited to see where Kylo goes. And to see in Star Wars Rebels, Vader just kicks butt all the time. Kanan and Ezra, they're no match. Because he's just go away.
Right.
You guys aren't even trained. Really.
Exactly.
Just leave me alone. And then to see him do that in live action, where he can in that scene description we talked about, where he's force holding dudes up to block gunfire, and then he's swiping other dudes. Come on, who does not want to see a full-fledged maximum powered Vader?
Yeah, and this is where you can get Gareth Edwards has got the opportunity to do a movie that can get a little bit of an older audience to. And it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of sucks we have to wait so long.
I know. Did you see Mark Hamill's tweet about this?
Yeah.
The account retweeted it, but I probably don't have any lines in this movie too.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
He is a social media.
Do you
titan.
think, this is off topic of Rogue One, but do you think that he speaks in the Star Wars 8 trailers?
No, I don't think so.
You just think they're going to keep playing the gag?
Yeah, I really don't think they're going to do anything with it in the Star Wars.
I think he'll say at least one line.
Or maybe they'll... I really don't want him to, just because I think it's so funny right now.
Yeah. I do think it's a good joke, but I think by the time we get our first Star Wars 8 trailer, which will probably be a year from now.
Mm-hmm. That's a good bet.
Or so.
Why did they have to move it out of May?
Yeah. Otherwise we'd be seeing it in a year from now.
I know.
Which is insane. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I think he'll say at least one line, but we're both crazy excited for Rogue One.
Absolutely.
I know this was your number one most anticipated.
Absolutely, and it just looks so cool. It looks so cool. It almost looked like a military movie,
Yeah.
Lone Survivor, or
it got a lot of Saving Private Ryan comparisons.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
And, I mean, if it's like either of those movies, those are great movies. So that'll be great, and just to see. The kind of the visual, I feel like I'm repeating myself about the visual style, but I mean, it's so good.
if it was shot in the same way that episode 7 was done, more in the telling a story format more than it was like this was like documentary-ish, you know?
Yeah, especially like the shot like that I talked about, like them running towards the AT-ATs. It's just like it's like you're there.
The use of light and it just looked awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like even like the final shot of the trailer, and it's just her turning around. And it was like, "Be careful what you become," or whatever Forrest Whitaker's character says.
Very ominous too.
So I don't think, like, even though she's in Imperial garb, I don't think she's going to become an Imperial. It doesn't make any sense. I'm guessing that could either be early in the movie because like I'm pretty sure when Mon Mothma was like reading off all the things that she's been charged with, it's like something to do with like
forging of Imperial documents.
Yeah, so like maybe that was like early in the movie.
Sure.
But it could also be somewhere where it's at the end of the movie where she has to go steal the Death Star plans, and then she's in the Death Star wearing that stuff, and then that's where she's going for the final, journey to go get in a TIE fighter and escape. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, you just gotta disguise yourself somehow. You're a spy.
Yeah. But also, I know this is a really long discussion on the trailer, but
no, it's fine.
This was labeled as a teaser trailer,
right?
But it's a full trailer.
It's a full trailer. I mean, what is a full trailer? 30 seconds longer?
Yeah, that's what it's like. Does a full trailer have to be at least 2 minutes? Like maybe that's the time constraint on it. I don't know, because like the latest like all the major trailers are like 2:20.
Okay.
And this was like 150, I think.
I want to say 134
or 140, something like that. It was definitely under 2 minutes, so maybe that's why it's called teaser. But I mean, it's not like it was just like the Star Wars 7 teaser, just like shots of characters.
Yeah.
With like not a lot of dialogue. It's just like you get a shot of Finn, you get a shot of Rey, you get a shot of.
They posted Instagram videos, 15-second Instagram videos, and they called those trailers. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, if that's a teaser trailer.
Yeah. This is a full trailer in my mind. So
same here.
The next trailer will be trailer 2, not trailer 1.
Yeah. Even though they'll probably label
they'll label
it
trailer 1. But that is going to be, I think, the end of our discussion on Rogue One. For now, yes. As we get closer and closer to release, I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of news stories about, kind of more of the plot, and then, character details. We get more trailers. Maybe, who knows what else will happen. But that means that we're going to move on to a review of Demolition. And this movie we saw last night.
Yeah, together.
I really enjoyed it. I guess I'll start off.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
I think I started off last week, but oh well. So basically this movie is Jake Gyllenhaal's in the lead, and he is a stockbroker, I believe. He works with finance and stock and stuff. A lot of money stuff I don't understand.
Right.
And basically he is doing his job, and then he's married to the CEO's daughter. Mm-hmm. And then you get in a car accident. Wife dies. This all happens like literally the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's quick, and then it's him, trying to figure out how to live life, or like how to deal with basically not caring,
right,
that everything happened. It's a really weird movie to explain.
It's super weird because he starts off and you think he cares, and then the next day he doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the movie he finds out he cares.
Yeah. So
spoilers.
Yeah. Basically general impressions for me, non-spoilers for like plot details and stuff. Like Gyllenhaal killed it in the lead. Between this and Nightcrawler, Prisoners, he's just so good. He's one of my favorite actors in the business right now. The family that he deals with a lot throughout the movie, Naomi Watts and her kid Judah Lewis, I thought they were both pretty good as supporting characters throughout. Jean-Marc Vallée, the director, I thought he did a really good job. I actually just watched Wild, that he directed a week or two ago with Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, that's really good.
And
I
really enjoyed it. I didn't even know that was him until today, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was watching that movie right before I went and saw Demolition.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of similar stories, whereas it's about hardship and it kind of like getting through the struggles of life and stuff. But in the same way he did with Wild, not so. He also did Dallas Buyers Club.
Never saw it.
I think
Matthew McConaughey got an Oscar for it.
Yeah, so did Jared Leto, right?
That's
because they like swept Oscars that year or something. It swept some award
all
show.
I know is McConaughey got it. Maybe Critics' Choice.
I know Leto won something because I remember him being on stage for it. But anyways, Valet does a pretty good job of even though he's telling kind of serious stories, whether it's about being transsexual, cross hiking across the country, or this one like the death of a loved one and dealing with that, he finds a nice job to inject humor into it. In sometimes weird ways, but a lot of the times it feels natural to the plot and to the characters that are in the movie. So that said, it's kind of a comedy, but it's also it's a very dark and sad tragedy movie. I mean, we were having trouble with defining what like John would put it in at the end after it.
Yeah, because I told you I was like, I'm pretty sure this is like a dark comedy, but then I was like, well, no, because then at the end it wraps itself up, and you're like, oh, I actually learned something valuable here, kind of. So
yeah, so I don't know. But all in all, I would give this 3.5 broken appliances out of 5.
Nice.
Which is not our new rating system, but it's just a little. I mean, if you see the trailers and you see the movie, you'll understand why we went with broken appliances. I mean, it's called Demolition for a reason.
Yeah.
So
He's not a kleptomaniac, but he just starts tearing everything apart throughout the movie, and which has ties to what his father-in-law tells him to do.
Yeah.
But,
so what'd you think?
I gave it 3.5 broken appliances too. So I was surprised there.
Right on board.
Got that. Yeah. And like you said, there's a dark comedy. And after we finished the podcast last week, I had to look at you. I'm like, wait, what movie are we doing? Because I had not seen a trailer for it.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything until we watched it. And I only did like 45 seconds of it. And I was like, oh, okay, that looks like it's going to be pretty good then.
Yeah.
And then I walked into the movie and was hugely surprised.
Yeah.
In a way, it was almost like Donnie Darko 2.0.
Yeah.
When I think of my mental impression of Jake Gyllenhaal for the last 6 years has been, oh, he's the guy from Donnie Darko. He makes he does quirky characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Totally ignoring Southpaw, Source Code.
Source Code's. I love Source Code.
That's a really good story. It came out the same time like his Inception. I was like, there's so many mind-bending movies. I love it. But the first half hour, I was giggling at some of the stuff that he was doing, but I really didn't get where this movie was going. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, it's going to make fun of a guy who didn't actually love his wife, or it was going to be about a guy who just didn't love his wife and he's going to go have fun now that she's dead. And as it progresses, you're like, oh, wait, maybe he cares. No, he just wants to break everything, and he's acting like a moron because his father-in-law was a jerk to him at the beginning of the relationship. And then once he starts hanging out with Judah Lewis.
Yeah, that's the actor's name.
Yeah, the kid of Naomi Watts, who reads the letters that he writes to the vending machine company as like a way of therapy. Yeah, catharsis, or whatever it is. And then as that starts to happen, I'm like, oh wait, no, he's kind of, him and his kid are actually kind of working through everything that he was having a problem with at the beginning. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of heart in this movie, a humor, and then as it wraps itself up near the end, I was like, oh, this was actually a really great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we both really enjoyed it. I guess we'll move into spoiler talk, just because it's kind of hard to talk about the plot of this movie without getting to.
I think I just spoiled the whole movie.
Some spoilers. Sorry, but I mean, you guys should go see it. It is really enjoyable. Well, it kept me engaged the whole time, which I think is like the most telling thing about it. I was never bored with it. I was always interested to see what he would kind of do next and how he would respond to different situations. So from here on out, we'll do spoilers for the next couple of minutes. So basically, since it's called Demolition, he just destroys stuff throughout the movie. And he does it at first, because I think the first thing he takes apart is he smashes the fridge. Is that the first thing?
Yes.
Yeah, and then he moves on to the coffee maker that his wife got sent to him, or sent to the house. And he takes it all apart because he tells his mom that he wanted to know how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So as he was taking stuff apart throughout the movie, and he talked about in one of his letters how he was seeing things he never saw them before. Like his eyes were opened and like everything was a metaphor, and like there's detour signs and like just like these like falling down trees. And he's like, I'm the tree. No way, I'm the storm that broke the tree. Like that's my life. And so when he's taking apart stuff, I always thought of it as, the metaphor where, okay, he's taking apart his life because he's trying to figure out how to put it back together without his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he does that a little bit kind of near the end.
Yeah.
But throughout the majority of the movie, he keeps taking stuff apart for like no clear reason. Like besides like as like it's like a therapeutic thing to do.
Right. I mean, the dad tells him, I swore I was gonna look up his name, but Norman Osborn
from the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's not Will Dafoe.
Okay, I'll look that up in a moment. But he tells him, when they're getting a drink, after the death of his daughter and Jake Gyllenhaal's wife, that the heart is like an automobile, and you need to sometimes take it all apart so you can see, or take it all apart only to build it back together, or so you can piece it back together, and I got that right away, but Jake Gyllenhaal's character at this moment in time is not paying attention to anything anyone's saying. So it's like he misses the part where I'm supposed to put everything back together, and it leads to him going on this spree of just disassembling the fridge, coffee maker, lighting fixtures, a squeaky bathroom stall, and then eventually
his computer, his house,
and then his house is the biggest staple of symbolism for their marriage.
It's Chris Cooper, by the way.
Chris Cooper. Got it. He's from The Patriot too. And
his name is Phil in the movie. I just remember that because like that's like the first letter he writes, because it's father-in-law, and he puts it as an abbreviation, FIL. Which he's like I know it sounds like, I know Phil's not spelled the same way, but that's how I always remember it. I was like, oh,
that's actually clever.
Good way to do it. Yeah, so besides just kind of that whole thing about, I don't really, understand fully why he was doing like that kind of stuff. That's where it was kind of felt weird, the end, where he just like suddenly has this realization that he was like, I actually did love her.
Yeah.
I was like, when did you figure that out?
Right. And it doesn't like just allude to that until he finds out that his wife was pregnant.
Yeah. Because it's like weird, because like early in the movie, right after she dies, like they're at the wake after the funeral, and he's in the bathroom. He's trying to make himself cry because everybody else is crying. Yeah. And he can't do it. And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah. And then he just doesn't. He goes back to work. He doesn't. He just goes about living life normally, and people just think he's like insane because he's not feeling anything. And then when he finds out that his wife aborted a baby that she got pregnant because she was cheating on him, right, like last year, then like he starts having these flashbacks to all the good times they had, and then he was like, oh, he's like, I loved her, I just didn't
take care of it.
Yeah,
direct quote, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it just kind of felt like they kind of just threw a happy ending in there, and then he rebuilt the carousel and named it after her and put her on the beach where I guess they went on a date or something on the beach, and then on the carousel before. Yeah, that was just kind of weird. Especially then, because like Naomi Watts doesn't pop up at the end. Like I was expecting like they don't continue that relationship anymore. Like once her boss comes back into town, and then the kid gets beat up because he's gay, and then after that they don't interact anymore. Yeah,
they purposely divert him off onto this path to connect with Naomi Watts and her kid, and then they build it up like, oh, they're really close to getting together, and then he's gonna find happiness with this other family.
Uh-huh.
And then that doesn't happen. Instead he gets beaten up by the girl's boyfriend. And like him and Naomi Watts never actually, do anything together.
As far as we know, yeah. I mean,
right.
We don't see anything, so.
No, they smoke pot. That's it.
Yeah.
But after that, it's totally separate. And then he finds the letter and he finds out that his wife had an abortion. And then suddenly like that makes everything clear to him.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably that is like probably like the biggest like problem with like the movie I had probably was just like the ending felt so out of place. Like the movie, I mean like I don't like movies having sad endings or incomplete endings, but like this happy ending didn't feel like it was earned. It was just kind of like, hey, he's happy. I was like, oh.
The only way that this wasn't clear to me, or I believe, but the only way I could piece it together was that he finds out that she didn't love him either, or that she didn't like him, or like she didn't care about him a ton either because she had an affair.
Yeah.
So that sets off in his mind that, oh well, maybe the relationship wasn't maybe I wasn't the only problem, or whatever the case was, that she was unhappy too.
Yeah. So
that leads to him to examine the good times, and then there's I don't know if it was inserted roughly, but he meets the guy in the other car that killed his wife. So I don't know if that's what it was that made him realize everything. I guess it's there, but it's not clear.
No, it's just kind of like you could like piece together like a possibility of how it happens, but. Yeah, like I would much rather either like it just end where he's he either still doesn't care, and that's just like that's just a really sad story then for a movie, and it's like just a story about love, and like that he married her because for job reasons, and because he thought that was like the right thing to do, but he didn't truly love her, and I mean with like divorce rates being at like 50% or whatever now in America, it's like that seems to be happening a lot, I guess. So, I don't know. I think that probably would have been a little more powerful of an ending if he just realized he was like, yeah, I didn't love her, and even though that's sad that he lost, like, meaning he didn't lose those years, but like he didn't spend those years with the person he was supposed to be with, and
right.
Like he could have had like a totally different life, basically. So it just like kind of like brings those questions of like, are you with the right person? Like, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Or are you doing what makes you happy? And like, if you're not, then you kind of end up like this. But if you do what makes you happy, then you'll find happiness in life.
Right. Yeah. Like that seems like it's the story. It's like it was trying to tell, and then it puts the happy ending in there.
Yeah.
Where. She was a teacher that worked with kids with special needs, so they put up a carousel, and it's for kids with disabilities. And you're like, oh, and then that strikes you right in the heart. And then you look at them like all the pieces here are for an awesome movie from the beginning to end, but the connection between he realizes that he did love her, and the very happy ending is just not complete to me.
You definitely need either a stronger connection between the realization and then because we don't even know why he decides to make the carousel be his final gift to what was her name, Jessica, is that his wife's name? Julia. So like we don't know why he decides on that. We just see him wake up in the morning, see the picture, and then he goes to her dad and it's like, I have this idea to how to like honor her. So like they need that connection to be a lot stronger, or they need a different ending.
Well,
and they chose to just combine the two.
Throughout the movie though, he is having memories of him being on the carousel with her, and then on the beach as well, like dates or moments that he can remember like being happy with. So
they were always like, he always had those moments when he was with Naomi Watts' character, which is weird. Like that's when they always showed the flashback. Like anytime him and Naomi Watts' character were doing stuff that him and his old wife did, then he would think about it, which I mean it makes sense. I mean that's what people do like in regular life. Like if you do something with somebody that you've done with somebody else, you're like, oh yeah, like brings back memories, whether they're
Right.
good or bad. So I don't know. I think it definitely could have been a lot better. I mean, not a lot better, like it sucked, but I mean it was very good. It could have been amazing.
Absolutely.
If it nailed the ending, it could have been like a movie where like at the end of the year, like
Oscar movie,
like it killed it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year type thing. But instead, it'll probably be like a middle of the pack movie.
Mm-hmm. I think it could crack my top 10, seeing how everything else plays out down the road.
Yeah.
Obviously, Star Wars has already occupied that spot just from the trailer, but there's the ending is just where it goes from an Oscar bait movie to that was a really all type of feels movie.
Yeah, it goes from an amazing movie you'll remember for a long time to a movie that you're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that movie,
mm-hmm.
but it's not one that like you rush out to go see again,
right?
Or you rush out to go buy,
mm-hmm.
type thing. But do you have any other thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, just to kind of add along with what you said, though, it could easily be a date movie for sure.
Sure, yeah, you could definitely see it as a date movie.
But that's about it. Jake Gyllenhaal, again, just phenomenal acting. Yep. Naomi Watts as well.
Yeah, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I want to Nightcrawler is one of my favorite movies of maybe all time. I love.
I haven't seen Everest yet.
He has a smaller part in Everest.
I know he's a part of the team getting up there, but does he get knocked off pretty quick?
That's a good question.
Because I remember when he did the media circuit, he was on the Colbert Late Show, and that was all I remember from it.
I'm trying to think. No, I guess this will be spoilers for Everest, but I remember. I don't think he dies.
Really? Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, good job, Jake Gyllenhaal. Because it looks like everybody dies in that movie.
I think, yeah, like the people that actually climb the mountain at the end, like everybody but like 2 or 3 of them die. Some of them die just because like they know they're gonna die, but they're just like they won't stop. Yeah. So it was a good movie to see like in theaters, just like visually, like in IMAX, seeing Everest and stuff. But it's not one I'm like rushing out to go buy.
No. Okay.
But it was.
I'll
good.
Redbox it.
Yeah. So that's gonna be the end of the 15th episode of Friends and Film. During our time away, be sure to tell us your thoughts on everything we covered by tweeting us at Friends and Film. We will receive updates on the podcast, movie news, and more. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Coops_hoops.
And guys, you can follow me, Josh, at Straley Strong on Twitter.
Got anything exciting coming up?
Anything exciting coming up? Just looking forward to.
You're gonna be tweeting about?
I'm tweeting about?
Yeah, you're gonna be tweeting about Veda. You guys go check out his Veda videos.
I am vlogging still every day in April, so you guys can check that out if you follow me.
Yeah.
No promising on this excitement level, but mostly just me speaking into a camera.
Yeah. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably see me the day this comes out at about, I don't know, probably midnight or so. Mm-hmm. You'll probably see me go crazy for the Doctor Strange trailer that drops.
Oh, that's right.
So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to see some really cool stuff from it. But if you're listening to this on YouTube, SoundCloud, or iTunes, please subscribe, like, share, give us a thumbs up. And if you like what you heard and you are on iTunes, please give us a review, preferably 5 stars. But be honest, tell us what we can improve on. And if you do so between now and so you guys are listening to this will come out on the 12th. If you give us a review before like by Friday night, April 15th, you'll be entered to have a chance to win a copy of Captain America: The First Avenger on DVD as a lead up to Civil War. So yeah, do it. We still only have one. So
Landry Gomick is in the lead, people.
Give Landry some competition, or don't, I guess. If you guys are friends with Landry, you just want him to win.
Yeah. The whole system is rigged.
Yeah. We're not. Yeah. So either way, it'd be really appreciative if you did that, and and if you do those, subscribe to us on YouTube. It'd be great. And then you'll get updates. You'll just get notification every time we publish. So then you don't have to, wait to see our tweets. But our tweets are normally pretty fast. Or you can just still follow us on Twitter and everything. Just follow us on everything and really help us out.
Yeah, make us a part of your daily life.
Yeah, I mean we don't spam you, I don't think. So that's it. Thanks again for tuning in to the Friends of Film podcast, Josh.
Thank you, Internet, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, and as always, be sure to watch some new movies before next week with a review of The Jungle Book.